Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Get woke, go broke. But shameless plug aside, we wield such incredible cultural power, who would have known? Of course we've known it all along. We were just too scared to use it. We let an extreme fringe minority dictate the rules in the social arena for far too long. We let them do it, we ridiculed them, we didn't want to stoop to that level, which at the time, I think we were making the right decision. Cancel culture was inherently stupid, targeting completely moronic things like 10, 15-year-old tweets that weren't even really offensive. But we simply just sat back and let them run amok. Let all the leftoids, let the pitchfork leftoid mob do what they want for far too long. And we kept saying things, and frankly I still say these things, that the left controls institutional power within at least the cultural sphere. They are the most dominant force in popular American culture. Well, they didn't get there accidentally, they put themselves there. Frankly, they strong-armed themselves into that position. Who's to say we can't do the same damn thing? Well, it seems like we are. Companies that are stepping too far, companies that are getting a little too woke. At this point, it's not even woke, I'd argue it's satanic. Literally, in the case of Target, well, we're showing these companies just how culturally influential we really are, and who would have known, who would have seen it coming. We're a whole lot more powerful when we come together than a small group of fringe, cringe Twitter folk. But honestly, after Elon Musk bought Twitter and Twitter has been redeemed, we should probably start calling them Reddit folk. The Reddit squad has always been a fringe minority. They can never accomplish this type of boycott. I mean, let's be real, their boycotts almost always backfired. Well, our boycotts, which are not only based and justified, what could be more justifiable than protecting kids? Well, they just work spectacularly. Target has lost over $9 billion, billion with a B, in just the last couple of days. Let me show you guys what's going on. Let's relish in the justice. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we have these corporate executives and these marketing gurus and firms at attention. I think every company is probably uttering the exact same words that Target was saying. We don't want another Bud Light situation here. You certainly don't. The Mama Bear backlash is in full effect. Look at the headline. Target loses $9 billion in week following boycott calls over LGBTQ-friendly kids clothing. I think that's a very, let's just say, friendly way to describe Target's most recent campaign targeting children. We'll let them frame it the way they want to frame it. Target has lost over $9 billion in market value since angry social media users called for a boycott of the Minneapolis-based retailer over its rollout of the Pride collection featuring LGBTQ-friendly clothing for children. A week ago on Wednesday, before the controversy erupted, Target stock closed at $160.96 a share, giving the big box chain a market capitalization of $74.3 billion. As of early trading on Thursday, however, shares of the company were trading off 1% at $141.76, capping a week-long tumble that has shrunk the, quote, cheap chick discount retailer's value to $65.3 billion. That amounts to a 12% drop that has shaved a whopping $9 billion off the company's market capitalization. Something bad is happening to your stock when you lose 12% in a week. And it's probably not even the end of it. Wait till those Q2 earnings show up. These stocks are going to tumble, and rightly so. And it's significant because we're having a little bit of a bounce back. There's a lot of talks of recession. I've said the same thing. It's impossible to tell when it's going to actually happen. At this point, if it's going to happen, we're kind of in uncharted territory. But recession or not, the stock market hasn't exactly performed well, but it has experienced a little bit of a bounce back in the last, let's say, 2-3 months. The S&P is back at almost 4,200. Well, in that kind of environment, as stocks are coming back to life, Facebook has almost tripled, if I'm not mistaken. Nvidia is back to all-time highs. In that kind of environment, you'd expect to be regaining some of your losses as investor cash comes back into the markets. Well, in that environment, companies like Target and companies like Anheuser-Busch are tanking. That's pretty much worst case scenario. This is Target stock, and this is Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch in the last month is down 14%. I've been saying for a long time there's no comeback here. There's no V-shaped recovery. There's no buy the dip and ride it all the way back to the previous high. These companies are toast. at least until something significant changes. Because people are fed up, and once again it comes right back to the influence that we have here on the right. And let's not even call it the right, because not everybody who's involved in these boycotts is a right-winger. Middle-of-the-road people, there's probably even some Democrats. Sexual marketing targeting children is simply unacceptable, and everybody except for a few, radical leftists can obviously get on board with that idea. And in cases like this, we actually have the ability to shift and shape the markets. The left has never been able to achieve this kind of thing. And again, we're not calling it cancel culture because it's not some frivolous nonsense. It's an actual important decision, and that's exactly it. It's a consumer decision. We put our money where our mouth is, and companies ought to wake up. They ought to wake up and smell the coffee. You want to pander to the woke? Do so within reason. If not, we simply will not support your brand, and your stocks will tank. 14% is just the start. What do you think's gonna happen? Bud Light can't even move the product. They're now buying back product from distributors. You go to some retail stores and they're practically trying to give it away, and even with a free beer promotion or a practically free beer promotion, people simply don't want to take the product. It's become so ingrained in people that they don't want to associate with that brand. Well, what do you think the earnings report's gonna show? It's going to be a complete disaster, like I keep saying. These major corporations are simply deluded. They act almost as if they're monopolies, as if they can do whatever they want. They're simply going to get away with it because they just don't have another option. Or they're the most popular option, at least for now. Well, how'd that work out for Bud Light? It's funny, Anheuser-Busch is shocked. Oh, we didn't even know that other beers existed. Consumer choice? Product competition? All of a sudden, Yuengling brewery sales are skyrocketing through the damn roof. Yeah, no, Sherlock. The same thing with Target. Consumer decisions. People don't have to go to Target. Is it a convenient option? Is it a decent big box store? Sure. But there are other options. And trust me when I say people will exercise those options if they have the choice. And boy, they are. Just the other day, I drove by 2 Targets. I skipped both of them on my way to a Costco. I don't care if the other retail store is further, I'm going to drive to it because I have something called values, and those are more important to me than consumer convenience. I really don't know what these executives and what these marketing firms are thinking. We've all heard this concept before. Women lead consumer habits and consumer choices, and especially with places like Target, it's the suburban mom, the suburban mother of the house. You don't want to be on that person's bad side. And while it is true that suburban women tend to be left-leaning in their politics and tend to vote Democrat, this issue isn't even political. Target was probably thinking that all of these women will just blindly support the left-wing activism thing, whatever the current trend is or the current thing is. They thought they'd support the current Democrat thing above the well-being and betterment and development and protection of their children, and that, my friends, is an absolutely stupid mental arithmetic. No way, absolutely no way. The mama bears have mobilized, and Target's financial statements are going to suffer greatly. I got no sense of remorse. They did it to themselves, and they simply deserve it. We have been yelling from the mountaintops, warning all of these corporations, if you get woke, you're gonna go broke, especially if you get exceedingly woke. They did not listen. They did not heed the warning. And now it's time to pay the piper. It's gotta hurt when that cost is over $9 billion and still increasing. Trust me when I tell you, $9 billion is just the start. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, you know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.